Welcome to Morning Glory Farmstead. My name is Lolly and this channel is all about gardening, animals, and nature. Some of the collards are looking good and some of them are starting to flower. It's that time of the year. You can tell the seasons are changing. Had a huge rain yesterday and the giant noble spinach got even bigger. Alright guys, today I've got a few things I'm going to do. I want to show you some of my hummingbird setup that didn't make it last time, and I've already got a couple feeders put out. I also want to finish up putting the 2x4s on my grow bag table. In my grow bag table video, I kind of showed you some of the edges where the wire was poking out, and that's really not safe for me because of my health reasons. I can't even graze my skin or get scratches from the waist down, so I've got to be really careful. So I'm going to cover those up with wood that I already have, and I'm also going to be using some of the potting mix that was in one of my green stalks, taking that and putting it into some of my grow bags to fill up the bottom because some of those grow bags are pretty deep. And then on the top layer of the grow bag soil, I'm going to use fresh potting mix and some amendments. Time to get growing those flowers for the bees and the hummingbirds. All right, guys, let's start by wrapping up this table. If you watched my video before, you saw the edges where the hardware cloth has a lot of metal pieces that are sticking out, and that is a hazard for me to be around. You can see where the level of that table is, and I cannot get any scratches from the waist down or graze my skin or anything like that. If you guys haven't watched the video on how green stalks are saving my life, that video is really about my health condition and what I go through on a daily basis and the things that I have to be careful of, and it might inspire you guys a little bit. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But that's why I'm doing this. I'm using some 2x4s that I've already got. This one on the back side I'm struggling with, so learn from me. It is bowed, and I figure that might happen because those pieces of wood are old. I just pulled them out of the shed because you guys know I like to be frugal and use what I have. So I'm trying to make it work. It's kind of hard to get those nails in, plus I'm doing it by myself, which is always a challenge. So just putting some nails on each end and in the middle. The front piece is going to be a lot easier because it doesn't bend quite as much. You know, I may have to redo that back one at some point if it pops out. We'll see how long it lasts. But this should definitely do the trick of covering up those metal pieces, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. So you know what that means. In a few seconds, we're about to do a wholesome celebratory dance because I have finished this table and I'm not going to get all scratched up. And you guys move around with me however you can, whether it's your arms or your whole body. Get a little exercise. And I told you guys that I align the music with my dancing when I'm editing after the fact. So if I ever look offbeat, that's why. You guys, there is always something to celebrate in life, no matter how small it is. And right this minute, I'm celebrating this table. But I know you guys can think of something to celebrate. Something to be grateful for, something you appreciate. I love my family and my grandkids and all my animals. I hope you guys are moving with me. You guys leave some comments below. Let me know that you're celebrating. And hey, let us know what you're celebrating, no matter how small it is, you guys. It's the little things in life. All right, guys, back to business. Okay, so the hummingbird feeder mix is going to be 4 parts water to 1 part sugar. So I've got 2 cups here of water and a half a cup of sugar. I think I did that right. And all I'm doing is just melting it. I'm not even bringing it to a boil. Once you start seeing just a few little tiny bubbles, then I go ahead and just take it out and let it cool. Now, in my last video that I did on my hummingbird setup in the feeders, you guys saw I had the antique glass ones by Perky Pet. This is also by Perky Pet. It was running late, but this is a plastic version. I'm going to link it in the description box. I really like these as well. You guys, whatever you get, you're going to need to be careful to keep it clean. Make sure you take these things apart and actually check the insides. Pop those flowers off, check them. I'm just kind of taking it apart to show you guys what it looks like on the inside. You can see all these little pieces that'll need to be cleaned, but you definitely don't want to buy feeders that can't be cleaned. That is a total hazard to the hummingbirds. And also in that video that I did on my hummingbird feeders and setup, I let you guys know that the old feeders that I got rid of did have the ant moats, but that there were still ants and bees all the time. So I have purchased these little umbrella ant moats. They're actually much larger than I thought they would be. And I'm going to hang these on all of my hummingbird feeders. I got a set of 4, and I'm just going to see how it goes. Now, there's 2 hooks that come with each one of these, and you want to make sure you put them the right way because one is short and one is long. Turn it upside down like you would an umbrella and put the short end on that side right there. See here where the short one is? I showed you an example of what it looks like when you do it wrong, and the one on the left there is correct. And before I forget, I do want to mention that I don't put any kind of dye in my sugar water. It's not necessary, and it's probably not the healthiest for them. I'm not a scientist, but that's just my speculation. The hummingbirds definitely prefer flowers, and they're all over my flowers every year, but they also use the sugar water in between to help supplement. All right, let's get a couple feeders filled up and get them outside. This is the glass one that I showed you guys in the last video, and it doesn't quite stand straight on the bottom just because that's the part that hangs, but I put a funnel on the top and just poured it right through there, and it stood up just fine. Just have to be kind of gentle. Now, I am not filling these feeders all the way because it's going to get old and I'm going to have to switch it out because the hummingbirds haven't quite yet arrived. So I'm just putting it out so that I'm not late like I was last year. You can see that it looks like it's almost halfway full, but when I turn it over and I actually put that together, it's going to go down into the bottom and it's going to look like there's not very much in there. All right, so once I turned it over, I made sure that it was screwed in really tight, and I wiped off that sugar water that you can see right there because that will attract bees and ants almost instantly. So I've decided to put the feeders out in what I call the natural area, and this is a place that I cannot see easily from my kitchen or from my sunroom. So I'm going to put some other feeders out as well, but this is a great place that offers a lot of shade and protection from the larger birds that are eating at the other feeding stations. When I put the hummingbird feeders next to other feeders that have larger birds that come by to eat, a lot of the larger birds will perch on the hummingbird feeder even though they're not eating it, and that scares the hummingbirds away. So this is going to give them a little area that's just for the hummingbirds where they're not disturbed. And here's what I was talking about. It looks like it's almost empty. You can't really see that water line there. Right in there, you might be able to see it, but it's because it's all down in the bottom where the hummingbirds are going to be eating. And so there's not a whole lot in the glass jar because I'm going to have to change it out frequently. So you guys use your judgment on how much you want to put in there. Okay, guys, so I actually got a lot of grow bags. I have like 20-gallon grow bags. I think I have maybe 10 or 20 10-gallon. And then I also have these. These are 5-gallon bags. And I've kind of heard that there's some question about how much you should really grow in a 5-gallon bag because it just makes all your plants smaller. But I have them, and so I'm going to use them. Now, they do say that not all grow bags are made equally, and I totally believe that, but neither are all budgets. And so this is what I got. I'm going to link it on Amazon. I've got a lot of dogs and cats and chickens to feed, and so I just do the best that I can with what I have. And y'all can go on Amazon and read those reviews for yourself and see what you think. And there is a ton of people who have bought these bags. So here's a close-up. And I don't think any of these bags are going to last for years and years, but I do think that having them up off the ground on this grow bag table is going to help lengthen the life of this bag. It feels pretty nice. It looks good. And I'll do my best not to tear these up just so I can see how long I can make them last since I'm so frugal. So what I decided to do was reuse this potting mix that's inside this green stalk. This was not used throughout the fall and winter, so I feel like it's got a little bit more left to it, some substance to it, than the ones that I've been using growing all of these greens and things all fall and winter. So I'm going to use this to fill up the bottom of the bag, probably till just under about halfway. And then I'm going to use something else that I have that my dad picked up to fill it up the rest of the way. I want to kind of be careful about how I use the resources that I have, just to make the most of them. And so I'll do this for these flowers. And then when I go to plant food in the green stalks, I'm going to change out that potting mix and put some fresh stuff in there. And you guys, I have a ton to do. Today, I am just getting started. So I'm going to do 5 bags. That's my goal. You know, I've got health issues, and so I got to take it easy. And I just can't do too much. It's not that it's that strenuous or hard for me. It's that when I do things that are strenuous, or I lift heavy things, or I strain a lot, my body interprets that as stress, and it makes my lymphedema worse. And then sometimes I get really sick from it. So I really have to watch myself. Even if I feel like I have the energy to do it, I can't always do what I want. Now the lighting doesn't show it, but actually this potting mix was in really good condition. It looked really healthy, like it still had some nutrients left. And so what I've decided to do is to not use all of my worm castings and the compost that I bought and things like that. I think what I'm going to do is just use what my dad got me, which is a bag of some raised bed organic potting mix. And it's for flowers and vegetables and fruits and all of that. You can see here, it's Miracle Grow. It's OMRI listed, which is important to me because that's the best I can do. That's the closest I can get to making sure that it's organic. And it's also got compost in it already. So I'm going to fill all 5 of these up to the very top and then decide which flowers that I want to plant. So I'll give it a little bit of water and plant those seeds. And let me just say that moving these grow bags on that hardware cloth that I put on there was like watching butter in a hot skillet. It was so smooth. Y'all, it may drive some of you crazy. I didn't do any research on these, and I'm actually going to mix some different ones in the same grow bag and just see what happens. So I'm hoping these flowers are about to get wild up in these grow bags. I love wildflowers. And I think it's so fun that my friend gave me some that are from Tennessee, from Alabama, from Georgia, because I'm in North Carolina. So this is kind of fun to see what I can grow here. Y'all check out how big these nasturtium seeds are. Let me just let you look at the names of what I planted real quick. All right, 5 grow bags down and a ton more to do whenever I can get to it. All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you are busy making your garden space special, whatever that means to you. And I hope you guys are helping the birds out too. All right, I'll see you real soon in the next video. And until then, y'all have a great couple of days. Bye-bye.